Tents, cones, and lanes. Work is underway tonight at the Four Seasons Town Center in Greensboro, preparing for a federal vaccine clinic.
President Biden says there will be enough vaccine for everyone by May. So who can get vaccinated in North Carolina starting tomorrow? Plus, mold overruns a Triad family's belongings kept in a storage unit. Their call to Chew wants to know.
We begin tonight with thousands more North Carolinians who will soon get vaccinated. Starting tomorrow, the rest of Group 3 is eligible to get their shot.
That is 1 week earlier than originally planned. More doses and a third approved vaccine, all contributing to today's announcement.
Our essential frontline workers have remained on the job throughout this pandemic, and I'm grateful for their work.
While vaccine supplies are still far below what we need to vaccinate everyone, they are improving.
Frankly, originally we had hoped it would be a little sooner, of course, but it's any day, we're ready.
Flood the market with as much vaccine as possible, try to have a reasonable approach in moving through the groups. We're always going to be moving between groups and get as many people vaccinated as possible.
So who's up next to get their vaccine? It's a long list. Nearly 70,000 people qualify in Guilford County alone.
Police officers, pastors, restaurant workers, grocery store employees, and more. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tanzino spoke with some who scheduled an appointment as early as tomorrow.
It's just utter excitement.
Just an additional layer of protection.
This is the way we come out of this pandemic.
With more people eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, a sigh of relief from frontline essential workers who can now get vaccinated a week ahead of schedule.
Just to have that level of protection and safety available right now is a game changer for everybody.
Governor Roy Cooper gave the rest of Group 3 the green light to start getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Those working in the restaurant industry are in that group, and after a year of trying to keep business afloat and safety in mind, undercurrent restaurant owner Wes Wheeler jumped right in line to schedule his appointment.
You just want to make sure that you're being as safe as possible, and you know that you're doing everything you can, but when you don't have the protection of a vaccine, there's still a little bit of uncertainty, and it's just so nice to get this ball rolling so that we can feel more protected and more certain of what we're doing.
Law enforcement are among those eligible now, too. Forsyth County Sheriff's Deputy Jesse King says he's looking forward to getting the vaccine to protect not only himself, but the community.
It'll have a trickle-down effect, not only with the members of the community that we interact with, but with the residents at our county jail, and it'll help us better take care of them as well.
High Point pastor Amos Quick was excited to hear the news of his newly eligible group, and he plans to sign up, encouraging others who are eligible to do the same.
It's important for me not only to protect my family and protect myself, but I also think it's important to set an example for those who may have some vaccine hesitancy.
Even the slightest sign of progress serves as the brightest light of hope that some haven't seen in a long time.
I am so optimistic.
The owner of Undercurrent says he and some of his staff have already started scheduling their appointments and will start getting their shots over the next week.
Part of Group 4 is next up on the vaccine list. Governor Cooper says that will start on March 24th. It's for people who have certain medical conditions at first. Here's who will be eligible: adults with increased risk of severe illness, including people with asthma, a heart condition, or diabetes, people who are obese or pregnant, people who are or were regular smokers. You can find the full list on our website.
President Biden now says he expects there to be enough vaccine doses for all adult Americans by the end of May.
About 3 weeks ago, we were able to say that we'll have enough vaccine supply for adults by the end of July. And I'm pleased to announce today, as a consequence of the stepped-up process that I've ordered and just outlined, this country will have enough vaccine supply, I'll say it again, for every adult in America by the end of May.
The president also said he hopes everything is back to normal by this time next year.
Today, crews started putting up tents at the Four Seasons Town Center in Greensboro. They are getting ready to open the federal vaccination site there. It opens next Wednesday. There will be an indoor and outdoor clinic, one under the tents in the parking lot and another one inside on the second level above Round 1 Entertainment. Organizers haven't said when people will be able to sign up yet. The goal is to vaccinate 3,000 people a day over 8 weeks.
Thousands of Johnson & Johnson vaccine doses will get here this week. The Forsyth County Health Department, Devant, and Wake Forest Baptist expect to get 9,000 doses.
You know, the way that we're going to get through this pandemic is to get as many people vaccinated as possible and to get whichever vaccine is available when it's your turn is the right vaccine.
It's not clear when the county will start rolling out the doses. In all, our state will receive just shy of 84,000 of them from J&J. It requires just one shot. It's easier to store, and efficacy is close to 70%.
The Rockingham County Sheriff's Office is changing the rules at its detention center after 3 inmates took their own lives last month. All were in their 20s. Now the department is looking at solutions to address inmate safety and mental health.
And when I see a trend and I see people die anywhere, I have a concern. I want to see what's going on. I want to understand it. I want to make sure we do everything we can do in our power to stop it.
One proposed solution is increasing the amount of time and frequency deputies check on the inmates. The SBI is still investigating.
New at 11, an Asheboro murder suspect faces more charges tonight. Investigators say Branson Lambert robbed the GH Mart on Highway 220 last month. Investigators say this is him captured on a security camera there. Today, deputies charge Lambert with felony robbery and kidnapping. The charges come a couple weeks after he was arrested for murder. You might remember investigators found a body in a Moore County rock quarry last month. They say Lambert and Jessica Law are responsible. Police arrested them in Virginia. The robbery and the murder occurred on the same day, but investigators haven't said if the two crimes are connected.
A $2,000 reward to find who is responsible for stealing car parts all over Greensboro. More than 300 catalytic converters stolen in the city over the past 5 months. Police say they are valuable, easy to steal with simple tools and hard to trace as they don't have any identifiable marks. Thieves are going after the precious metals in them, like platinum. One Greensboro man said he didn't realize his was gone until he started his car.
Went out to start my car one morning, was abnormally loud. As soon as it started up, I knew what happened. It was very loud. You could smell the exhaust.
It's not just residential or commercial, but anywhere that people can get access to vehicles and get under the cars and cut them out.
And the damage is expensive to fix. Mechanics say it can cost up to $1,400 to replace.
New tonight, that in-person learning bill in Raleigh is not dead yet. Tomorrow, the state Senate will vote to reconsider the bill. It would require all schools to offer an in-person learning option. Senate Leader Phil Berger says a key senator wasn't there during the vote last night, so they're going to try it again. Democratic Senator Ben Clark was one of the lawmakers who joined with Republicans to approve the bill the first time around. He wasn't there last night when the override failed by just one vote. Senate rules do allow a vote to reconsider. If they get a simple majority, they'll attempt an override one last time. That would happen later this week.
We have taken your calls and read your emails. Greensboro families are worried about Archer Elementary School. Let's get a few things straight. The school is not being demolished, but changes are coming. GCS says it will be renovated and transformed into a new, different school called Irwin Montessori. Archer will no longer exist. GCS says the plans are not new. They were part of the larger $2 billion 2019 facilities plan. Many parents told us they weren't aware of some of the details.
I remember the facilities plan and I remember the renovations. What I do not remember about the facilities plan is it saying that Archer would no longer exist.
There must be a better way, and it doesn't seem like the due diligence has been done as far as talking to the community.
GCS says Archer parents will be given a choice of nearby schools to send their children. More information will come out in the coming weeks.
If you're moving or you run out of storage space at home, renting a storage unit can come in handy. Well, for one Triad family, it was a disaster. So they called 2 Wants to Know's Kevin Kennedy.
It's a $40 billion business. A square box, a metal door, and a lock you provide.
We could have got a cheaper place or whatever, but we felt like that one was going to be more secure and safer area for us, so we put our stuff in there.
Early last year, Carl Woods put almost everything he owned in a storage unit.
It was 3-bedroom suites, a couch with a lounger on it, a dining room suite, breakfast nook suite. It was everything.
7 months later, when it was time to clear out, he pulls up the door.
It was the mildewy mold smell. It was a stench that hit you in the face. You couldn't stand to be in there.
Everything in the unit has mold on it or smells disgusting.
My wife was there. I mean, she immediately started breaking down crying because it was that bad.
Furniture and clothes are saturated with spores. Shoes are covered with mold. This suitcase looks like it's been invaded by an amoeba.
It attacked everything.
Woods immediately contacted management.
It turns out, the contract that we had signed was as is.
Which means whatever happens, happens. And in this case, it was a mold infestation.
And I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't read the contract. We had to move out in a hurry.
The lesson learned and now shared. Before signing a contract, asked what is and isn't protected. Woods finding out the hard way.
They wash their hands of any liability whatsoever.
Some storage facilities offer insurance, but know exactly what you're buying. Another reminder, check your homeowner's insurance policy. Woods wishes he did.
It's lack of my awareness, but if I would have been more vigilant, I guess, in what I was doing, or if I'd have thought about it, if it even crossed my mind, I would have took out another policy.
After we reached out, the company did agree to reduce the cost of the unit, but it didn't come close to covering the cost of everything lost. Kevin Kennedy, 2 Wants to Know.
Getting cold across the Triad right now. Temperatures dropping through the 30s, even into the 20s in many areas. Sometimes if we're getting cold like this and rain is on the way, well, that can make for an interesting morning commute. However, here's the thing this time. I expect all this rain to stay to our south. So most of us are just dry tomorrow. That is obviously not what we're used to in recent memory with all of our wet weather. But here's your futurecast. Later on this evening, rain will be possible south of Asheboro, but anywhere north of that, likely to stay dry. That would include much of the Triad and certainly anywhere north of Interstate 40. So bottom line, a very low chance of a shower early tomorrow morning. Here's the good news. Most of the day is nice. We have sunshine with a high temperature right at 60 degrees, a warmer Wednesday for you. Of course, I want you to hold me to that forecast. Coming up, we'll talk about how much dry weather we could see over the next several days.
At least 13 people are dead and more than a dozen hurt after a tractor trailer hit an SUV in California near the Mexico border. Troopers say the SUV was carrying about 25 people. 12 of them died at the scene. Another died at the hospital. People came out to put crosses at the site of the crash. The victims range in age from 20 to 55 years old.
The important thing is that 13 people died in this crash. We owe it to the families of those that were killed and injured, as well as the public, to conduct a complete and thorough investigation.
The cause of the crash is under investigation. Special agents with Homeland Security are looking into if this is a human smuggling case.